Okay, so I'm going to just do a little video on financial math. If you want to look at where it's located, it's page 129 in your review package. So let's just kind of give it a quick recap. Financial math has to do with percentage, interest, decrease, increase. So let's just remember what this formula stands for. So the A stands for your initial value, so what you start up with. Like if you have an investment or if you're buying a car, it's like the startup cost. And C, that will be your percentage. And you're going to usually always turn it into a decimal. Unless it says a word like it doubles, it triples, it quadruples, then it's just 2, 3. So if it says word like doubles, like I double your money, then your C would be 2. If I say I triple your money, then your C would be 3. In most cases, it's percentage. And that's usually when we talk about interest. So every time you talk about interest, you're going to add it to 100%. And then you're going to turn it into a decimal. If I talk about depreciation and losing money, so when things lose money, things depreciate, then you're going to subtract it from 100%. From 100%. And of course, then you're going to turn it into a decimal. So quick look, let me just give you a quick example. If I invest $5,000 into in a bank account at 9% annual interest, how much money will I have in 5 years? So basically what you're asking is, this money is going to increase. How much will it be in 5 years? So our first thing we have to establish is we're looking for money. So our A, that's going to be the 5,000 because that's what you're starting up with. Your C, well, that's your 9%, but because you're increasing it, so it's 100 plus 9%, which makes 109%, and then you divide it by 100, and that means it's going to be 1.09. That's what you're going to put into the formula. So let me just decrease the page size so I could write. So that is going to look like this as a formula. Y is equal to your 5,000 times 1.09 to the power of X. Now in this case, we know our X is 5. That is 5 years because I said so. So the important thing is that you do this first when you're calculating on your calculator. So this is first, because if you do the 5,000 times the 1.09, your answer is going to be different because it's the percentage that is to the exponent. So you take out your calculator, you do 1.09 to the power of 5, and then just leave that number in your calculator and then multiply it by the 5,000, because if you actually round it off, your answer is not going to be very precise. So if you actually keep all the digits, whatever it is, your answer is going to be a lot more precise. So then my answer here is actually $7,693.12. Here I could round it off because we're talking about dollars. And that's pretty much it in terms of adding stuff. Now, when do things get complicated? Before that, let's do one subtracting things. So next screen, make it larger. So when I depreciate, things go down in price. So let's recap that. So you bought a car which cost $30,000, goes down 12% every year. So what does that look like? Well, your Y equals ACX or BX. I'll talk about the B later. So you're at $30,000 just to start off with. And then your car goes down. So your A was your 30,000. Your C is 100% minus the 12% because it's going down in price. So every time it says depreciate or goes down, the word is usually depreciate. Let's learn a new word, put on our word wall. So So 100 minus 12% is 88%, and then you're going to turn this into a decimal, which you divide by 100, and this becomes 0.88 in decimal form. So you're going to put that in here. And then, of course, it's a typical X. I didn't ask the question yet. What if I ask, what will it be worth? What will it be worth in 5 years? So since I'm asking years, this is pretty simple. X is equal to 5 because that is what the years represent. So what is that going to look like? Well, your equation for that, so let's say this is question A, your equation for that would be y is equal to 30,000, 0.88, and of course the power of 5. So I'm going to take out my calculator. I'm going to do 0.88 first, 0.88 to the power of 5. I keep that in my calculator and then I times that by 30,000. So basically my answer is 15,831.96. I suggest you also do this on your calculator because if you're not getting this number, you're doing something wrong. So basically in 5 years, your car is worth half the price almost of what you bought it. Now, what if I ask you a different question? And this is where the logs come in. And we'll just show you logs and I'll re-explain it in the next screen. So what if I say, how long before car is worth $10,000? So obviously my answer should probably be more than 5 since in 5 years it was at 15,000. But let's just say I didn't know that. What would I do? So I would then just write down the following. Y is now the 10,000, right? So if Y is the 10,000, I will place that value in the equation. So it's going to be 10,000 like this equals, I still write my 30,000 because that was my initial value. I still write my 0.88, but this time I'm solving for X. Now what do you do here? You're going to use logs. Now how do you do that? First you want to isolate this. So I'm going to write here isolate. That means you want to get rid of this 30,000. How do you get rid of the 30,000? Let me see if I could just double up the screen here. Okay, so let's get rid of that 30,000. So you're going to do 10,000 divided by 30,000. And of course, you divide it here as well. So this cancels out. And then that equals to 0.88 the power of X. So now if I cancel out all of the zeros, I believe I have 1/3. So 10,000 divided by 30,000 is 1/3. Now if you want to leave it as a decimal, go ahead. Doesn't make a difference. It's not going to be as precise, but it's good enough. So that's going to be 0.3. I'm going to just take it up here. So 0.33, and you could just leave it at 33. If you want to keep on going, go ahead. Equals 0.88x. Now here's the log thing. You actually, now if you want to write it fancy, this is the log of 0.88, 0.33 is equal to x. You don't have to do this. This is like the students who have done the advanced logs. This is like a format that is written. All you have to do at this point is you're going to go log of the answer. So you go log of the 0.33. So you need to locate the log button on your calculator. Then divide by the log of 0.88. So if I do that on my calculator, log, some calculators you have to write the number first and then press the word log. Other ones, you got to do it the other way around. You can press the log and then I'm getting something like 8.6727 equals x, which is approximately 8.7 years. Seems like a legit answer because it took 5 years to be 15,000, a few more years, and it's only worth 10,000. So that's how you do that. Now, moving on to The capital interest stuff, I think I'll do another little video. Hopefully this one helped. Bye now.